And welcome to another edition of By the Numbers. I'm Pep Fernandez. This is Eric Paul Johnson. And let's go to last week's question, Eric. You were offering extra credit in this one. I had to ask Siri. She didn't even know what the answer was. But we're talking about Kaiser. They had this long winning streak. What was it? 32 games. But the three teams prior to Kaiser's long winning streak, named them, and also the teams that beat them to end those winning streaks.
Yeah, the previous record before Kaiser got to 32 was 24 wins, held by three different teams. First team was Indio, and that happened in the early 80s, 80 to 84. That streak was snapped by El Centro Central. Riverside Poly almost followed that in 82 to 85 with a 24-game winning streak. That was snapped by San Gorgonio. And then San Bernardino Cajon from 87 to 91 also put together a 24-game winning streak, and that streak was snapped by Barstow.
Of course, Barstow. Okay, all right, now to this week's By the Numbers Nuggets. We start with Hemet star receiver Michael Stewart, set an inland area record for catches right in one season. Now he's looking at some other marks coming up.
Yeah, right now he's leading the area, and I believe total catches right now. I think he's got 43 on the season. So his career number is now up to 153, which ties him for sixth place all-time in area history. So he's closing in on the all-time area record, which is 190, set last year by Khalil Sharp. And if the numbers from last year are very telling, Stewart really came on at the end of the year, getting 10, 12 catches a game. So you got to figure Tahquitz is going to be relying on him a lot more as the season goes along. And then we're also looking at Michael Stewart and also Ukaipa's Brandon Scott, moving up the list of career yardage leaders of all time. Michael Stewart right now 2,196 yards, Scott 2,171. They rank 15th and 16th all time in area history. They're both about 350, 360 yards away from joining the top 10.
In a run-heavy high school game, right? Pretty big numbers for a receiver. All right, so EPJ sits at his desk and thinks, how do I get the kickers into By the Numbers? Last week we saw the punters, right, getting some love. This week the kicker from Beaumont getting some love.
Yeah, this one I'll have to give credit to Beaumont Athletic Director Martin Dussault tipping me off about this. Been a tough season for Beaumont right now, 0-6 right now, but they have had a real bright spot in their kicker, Alejandro Alex Raya. He had a 51-yard field goal earlier this year against Heritage. And then he also had a 49-yarder. So those are among the longest field goals in the area this year. The 51-yarder broke the school record previously held by Ryan Sherwood, who had a 48-yarder back in the early 2000s. The 51-yarder tied for the second longest in the area right now. John Barron of Chaparral also kicked a 51-yarder. But Mateo Thompson of Murrieta Mesa right now, 52-yarder, the longest in our area at the moment.
All right, moving on to Norte Vista, and not to be mistaken for his twin Michael Headland. We're talking about Kevin Headland, and he's been a monster on the defensive side of the ball for the Braves so far.
Yeah, not much getting through, past him right now. 17 tackles per game, which is tied for the state lead, and his 102 overall tackles is second in the state right now. At this pace right now, if Norte Vista can make a deep playoff run, he has a chance to break the area record for most tackles in a season, currently held by Aaron Davis of Elsinore. He had 206 during the 2006 season when Elsinore reached the finals. Yeah,
the Headland twins doing big things for the Braves this season after a good start. One on the defensive side, one on the offensive side at quarterback. Our question of the week, Joey Camarillo. I was kind of joking. It sounds like a name straight out of Jersey Shore. Joey Camarillo. All right, but he had a big game last week against Roosevelt, especially when Blake Barnett went out. He carried the load. What was it? 41 carries, which is a new school record. So that leads us to our question for this week.
Yeah, if you look at the history of Santiago, they've been either a really balanced team, or especially since Coach Jeff Steinberg's come in, very pass-heavy offense out there. But Joey Camarillo right now, 41 carries, shattered the school record if you kind of look over it. The previous record was 31 carries. So my question of the week is, who held the school record for most carries at Santiago prior to Joey Camarillo getting 41 this past week?
All right, I'm going to ask Siri and try to find out the answer before next Tuesday. For Eric Paul Johnson, I'm Pep Fernandez. We'll see you next time on By the Numbers.